Okay, I'll call the meeting to order. At 6:37. The first thing we'll do is the meeting minutes.
Sherman, I can hardly hear you now.
I'm gonna have to talk to the screen,
Well,
I
you're
think.
gonna have to, can you hear me now? Oh, okay, I guess I'm gonna, I can't talk to you, to everybody. So,
What you put her there, so she can look at me.
Looks like you're on the front seat.
He's one of the
I'll
warm
just
seats.
move you up closer, how's that?
It doesn't scare the audience, I guess that's okay.
You're pretty scary. Okay, now, let's take these minutes. You didn't approve the minutes of March the 12th at the last meeting.
Right.
Right,
Okay, so, well, let me tell you something here. Meeting minutes aren't required to be approved. There's no requirement. We're only required to take meeting minutes, we're not required to approve them. And you're not required to be at the meeting to approve the minutes either. There's no requirement for that. So you can approve meeting minutes even though you weren't at the meeting, because you're on board. So,
How would you know whether they're correct or not, if you weren't there?
I don't know.
well, I wouldn't wanna approve something that I didn't know anything about and wasn't in attendance at. And you said we didn't have to approve it anyway?
You don't have to approve them.
So,
No. It's just that the select board has always had a policy of not putting the meeting minutes on the website until they're approved.
okay.
So I'd like them to be approved, but I'm not telling you what to do. You do what you want to do. So, well, we have us all here anyhow. I'm here and you're here, so we can approve the meeting minutes anyhow. So I'll make a motion to approve the, oh no, yes. I'll make a motion to approve the meeting minutes of March 12th. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, any discussion on the meeting minutes for March 12th?
No.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. What'd you say?
I,
Okay. Opposed? Are you gonna abstain?
Yeah,
Okay, the motion passes. So the meeting minutes from March 12th are approved, and now we can go to the meeting minutes for March the 22nd, or 26th. So I'll make a motion to approve the meeting minutes from March the 26th. Is there a second?
yes, I'll second that.
Okay, seconded by Steve. Any discussion?
well, I need to abstain because I haven't seen them. I had asked Linda, too late, I guess, to email me a copy. So I haven't seen them.
Oh,
Excuse me, Sherman, as well. In my report that I had, my treasurer's report, I did make an error. At the end, it was like a $900 error on what our funds were at the end, but I caught that when I was doing my report for today. So I don't know if that
Okay.
needs to be put in the minutes, if it was in the minutes or not.
I didn't hear that at all.
I don't know if it was even put
Uh,
into the minutes.
that's not in the minutes,
Okay,
so,
well, I did make
that
it.
that I saw.
Is that what you gave me, Cheryl, this single copy?
That's this bi-weekly, right.
Okay, so it says treasurer's report, Cheryl Legg, town treasurer gave her report.
So there should be a copy.
This report is attached.
It's not attached to mine, is it?
And I don't see it attached.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Mm-mm.
I don't know.
Okay, well, make note, in these meeting minutes, that there was a mistake, that Cheryl said that there was a $900 mistake in the treasurer's report for March the 26th.
As far as the balance on hand as of March 26th.
Okay. I see in these meeting minutes right here that it says, Vice Chairman Wick offered a motion to appoint Darlene Oakes as the town clerk.
The town clerk?
Don't think so.
Is that true? Did you
Is
appoint?
that for Meals on Wheels?
It says in the meeting minutes that you offered a motion to appoint Darlene Oakes as the town clerk. Is that true?
I hope not.
I think it had somehow got I would have heard that, I was here.
Yeah.
It was Liz Holman was supposed to be appointed as deputy town clerk and deputy tax collector. Only
Yeah,
She
yeah,
wasn't-
We did vote on the deputies, we did not.
I see that, yeah. The deputies are in there.
except for Liz as deputy tax collector. Instead, my name is there as being appointed as town clerk. I think it was just
I
a
think Darlene's right.
transcribing
So we have
error.
Liz is town clerk and Darlene is town clerk instead of Liz is town clerk and Liz is tax collector. Is that right?
But she's the deputy for
For
both.
both, yeah.
I was elected.
So,
Does that make sense to you guys?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, so we can correct the minutes to reflect that.
Yeah, so I'll just say
Okay.
that Lynn, she did these, we'll have Linda fix that.
Okay, well, that's an amendment
Yeah.
to these minutes. We'll amend it and read back the amendment to us so we make sure that we get it right.
Okay, so it would read, Vice Chairman Wake offered a motion to appoint Elizabeth Houghton as deputy tax collector. Selectman Berkeley seconded the motion. The vote was 2-0, the motion carries.
Okay. So you're taking Darlene Oakes out of there and town clerk out of there and you're putting in Liz,
Elizabeth
right,
Houghton,
and tax collector,
deputy tax collector.
deputy tax collector, what is it, town clerk. Okay, anything else? You have anything else on the meeting minutes?
I
No. Steve?
No.
No, that's it, okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? You're abstaining?
don't, yeah.
Okay, the motion carries. That's on. Okay, let's do the manifest. Did you have an opportunity to see the manifest?
I did, and I have some questions.
Okay, let me put it on the table then. I'll make a motion to approve the manifest listing of payroll and expenditures for April the 9th. Is there a second?
Yes, I'll second that.
Steve seconds, okay. Discussion?
I have questions.
Shoot.
And, well, I'm hoping, maybe Dean or Cookie could come to the table, because apparently I can't hear from the audience. But there was over $800, for personal safety, and was all of that highway, or is some of that emergency management also? I believe the Blue Tart Financial was personal, was at least, it was allotted, under personal safety and highway. And then there was the fire protection, which was, all of that was allotted to highways. Was any of that emergency management?
Negative, mostly in the town buildings as well.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, would you mind, I
Yeah.
can't hear, I'm
Come
so
on down,
sorry.
Compton.
I'm coming.
Thanks.
Which check number are you talking about here?
what, Tri-State Fire?
69.90.
Like I noticed Tri-State
Yes.
Fire came out twice.
Yeah,
So was all of that for highway, and I noted that we got some new, fire extinguishers and, you got, two of them were ABCs, two of them were, one was a chem extinguisher,
Yeah.
Tri-Chem, so that's cool.
This is all mostly highway. There was all these extinguishers in the hall and the office also were done.
Okay, well, I didn't see that enumerated, that's what I was.
Yeah,
wondering.
yeah, that's
So,
what-
okay, that's good.
The whole town's been updated.
While you're there, Dean.
Yeah.
Home Depot,
Yeah,
basically $1,300, and I went over the invoice, but I couldn't really tell what that was for. I mean, I assume it was some tools, but
I don't have it
you
in front
know,
of me.
the invoice was not clear what that was.
I don't remember.
Jeff, don't you have them in the folder?
Everything gets turned
We just
in.
didn't get to it.
You should have,
You have the invoices? Oh, you don't, okay.
I got them on the email that they sent to me, you know, so.
Okay, here it is. What was purchased was an area rug.
$69, yeah.
What is this?
Area of $69.
No, what is the second and third one here? It says ALX FDR.
Yeah, those are the ones I didn't know what that was.
Okay. They were $31 a piece. These two items right here. I don't know what they are. There was a circular saw, 2x3 mat,
Yeah,
some paint,
yeah,
AAA batteries, more paint.
yeah. Only thing I'm not sure is those two up top.
Couple Sharpies,
Yeah.
AA batteries.
Yeah.
what is it?
Yeah. Yes, I don't understand.
Did you buy some signs? Did you buy some signs too?
Home Depot?
Yeah.
I bought signs, there were only the two little ones I have in the door to walk in.
They were $5.
Yeah.
So,
No.
I guess I'm just wondering, what is the big ticket item there that brings it to basically $1,300? You know, that just wasn't clear to me going over the invoices.
I guess the biggest ticket would have been the circular saw that we burnt up, that we bought last year. We bought a skill saw from Ashland Lumber last year, and it burnt up, so we had to replace it.
Okay.
I think that was the biggest ticket.
Okay.
There's 34 items here.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
it's,
if you break it down,
it's everything.
yeah.
Right.
It's,
Okay, I'm not, you know, I'm
That's okay.
very,
Yeah, you're fine.
and, it's, well, never mind, I'll wait with the other questions, Cliff.
okay.
I'm gonna, and then I just have one more question for the manifest, that doesn't have to do with you, Dean.
Take care.
And what was the Blue Chart Financial?
Yeah, what was that
What
for?
was that?
That's personal safety, I forget, they paid on behalf of Northern something, was it Northern Exposure?
Northern Tools.
Full equipment.
Invoice in front of me,
Yeah, Northern Tools.
but
That's a new account we got.
Ear protection.
Yeah, we got air protection, jack stands, for the trucks, and a jack for the trucks, and something else.
This is it, Marlin
Yeah,
Tool and
yeah.
Equipment?
Yeah. Can you go up to see? Oh, they don't get there.
No.
Should they list everything?
Let's see.
No.
Don't.
No. No, that was for, a set of jack stands, 12 ton for the trucks, a jack for trucks, air and protection, and I forgot what that, something else. But, I have saved the, what do they call it when you get a delivery? Packing slip. But I thought that would be covered by the invoice, but I guess it wasn't.
It wasn't.
All right, so I'll make sure we get that straightened out with Linda,
Okay.
everything detailed that was on it.
Thanks, Dean.
All right, Maria. That's why I didn't catch
And
it.
then my last question for the manifest was, Chamberlain Pest Services. So we're spending, $260 to have wasp spray. Personally, I guess, I think the wasps aren't as harmful as the chemicals we're using, and is that, according to that invoice, I guess that's something we've always had done, but do we really need to do that?
Yeah, we do.
We do?
Yeah. Yeah, we had an election here one year, a couple of years ago, and the hall was full of wasps.
Oh, yeah,
And we were really afraid that somebody was gonna get stung.
okay.
So when they spray, they don't spray inside the building, they spray outside the building.
Okay. A little hard to stomach, but fine.
Yeah. You have anything? No? Okay, all in favor? Aye. Mike Sampson didn't come, huh? Oh, okay. This is new to me. So this is something new to treasurer's report, huh? Going into the meeting minutes? Okay, Mike Sampson's here now. So,
Stephen signed this as well.
Oh,
yeah.
all right, just below. Okay.
So Mike's a busy guy, so I'm gonna turn the meeting over to him so he can make his presentation. Hi, Mike. How are you? You're next on the list, Mike, so,
That's quick.
yeah. So, I'll turn things over to you.
All right. As usual, I have piles of paper. Some of this you may have seen already, some you have not seen, frankly, not many people have. The second document is a third-party independent feasibility study that was required by the feds to look at us and see what they were doing, and if it was appropriate or inappropriate. And the answer on it was that we actually are more creditworthy than most of the operating facilities, which is nice. Oops, it's the same one. I have extra copies for the rest of the folks here. If you're ready.
Did Linda type up the letter on, Mike was asking, it's on our letterhead, so.
Okay, that's good. I wasn't, never can tell, and didn't want to use it. Okay, I'll turn around so everybody can hear at the same time. There are way more people than there are papers. Last week just happened too. There were about 10 times more people than I had in this lunch. Thanks for the opportunity. Some of you may know me, I'm Mike Sampson, I'm town administrator in Canaan. The other part of me is I'm one of the board members of Mass Common Community Healthcare, which is looking to open up a health center about 10 months from now. And that's the reason I'm here tonight. There are documents going around. There's a couple, can I steal your package for a minute? Sure. There's a couple of things to show you. There's this thing that's got a little blue symbol at the bottom. It's one of the most important ones. This is a third-party analysis of the health center proposal. It was done by TriNet Healthcare out of Massachusetts. It was required by USDA to determine if it was feasible, if all the assumptions are sound and meet industry standard, and if we're likely to succeed. In the second page of that is a description about how we fared. Second or third page, and it's called the indicators, feasibility indicators, financial feasibility indicators. Key ones are that the first year we lose money. The second year we almost break even, it's about $20,000 short. But the third, fourth, and fifth, and sixth years, we're making significant money. It's being plowed back into expansions of the facility. Our ability to pay the bills is about, the lowest it is 1.5 times more than what we need to pay the bills. The highest is about 3 times what we need. So that part is very good. Other aspects, the health center is set up to open at the end of Roberts Road and Route 4. And there is an aerial photo going around. If you happen to have one, if you can share one of these, that would be good. There's also a floor plan. We retained the same firm that built the health center in Bristol. There's a health center called Midstate Health Systems or Midstate Health Center in Bristol, New Hampshire. Same firm, it's Stratton Associates out of Connecticut. We like the design that they had. We expanded it a little bit so it's larger than the one in Bristol because it's got more services in it. So that's complete. The schematic was done this week, and the estimate's been done on in terms of what the construction costs are. There's a USDA package that's been filed for a mortgage. It all was predicated on a financial analysis that we handed out. And as I said, the analysis came in very strong. The services are going to be offered immediately will include all primary care, all dental care, and that includes hygienist and technician and appliances and stuff like that. Behavioral health. We're going to be a partnership during the first 3 years at least, and probably 4 with family pharmacy and pharmacy. And after that, we'll probably have a pharmacy locally. We are building a pharmacy, it's just we have to have enough patients. Radiology probably won't kick in until the fifth year, but labs will be in place during the first year, as will education. So that's the health center concept. There's a couple of bios kicking around. They're about 10 pages long. If you look at the board of directors, I'm the least impressive on that list. They're very, very talented people that you may have encountered previously in your lives. We have Linda Von Rain, who was the director of nursing at Dartmouth Hitchcock up until her retirement about 1.5 years ago. She's on the board. We have Karen Ewart-Gray, who is the medical director at Cardigan Mountain School. She also ran the Goodwin Health Center down in Somersworth for 14 years. Same type of center that we have proposed for here. We have Dave Buffet, who's a local practitioner. We also have Ed McGee, who's the owner of Family Pharmacy. And we have another 15 or 16 professionals on the board in every field. We have people in finance, we have people in construction, architect, lawyer. There's a full gamut of people that serve on the board. The reason I came to the Board of Selectmen tonight is we have a grant application going in next week to Community Development Finance Authority for operating capital. To assure our success, we want to have $700,000 in the bank when we open. That's not insignificant. On the other hand, it's cheaper than the whole project, which is about $3.5 million. So, but it's important that we have enough operating capital so we don't fail. We currently have about $250,000 in that raised. The application that's going into the state is for $350,000. And it still leaves us with about $200,000 more to raise during this next year, which we're undertaking now. It would be highly advantageous to get this grant from Community Development Finance Authority. We're one of 40 applicants that have been authorized to apply for the grant, so that's good. The problem is we're one of 40 and only about 15 will be funded, so that's bad. And we need all the community support we can get. So we've asked each Board of Selectmen in the 5 towns to issue a letter of support. And it doesn't bind you for money or anything like that. It just says that it's a good idea. The numbers, and you'll see it, I don't know if there's extra copies of the letter or not, I think there are, but the numbers that I gave the Board of Selectmen, 15% of the population in Dorchester has already pledged to use the facility. Now, that's not bad considering the fact we had set as a goal 15%, and in Dorchester's case, because we know the other side of the mountain tends to go towards Plymouth, this side of the mountain would be better served by the health center. We assumed, all right, so if we're looking for 15, we might get 7, and we got full 15. Throughout the 5 towns, 26% of the population has already signed up to use the facility. Some of them are large groups. So for instance, all the Carnegie School employees and students have pledged to use it. And 5 or 6 major employers have pledged to have their employees use it as part of their health plan. So we're very hopeful. The other feature of it is not just a health center, it is a health center. No question about that. The average appointment will be a half hour. That's twice what the current average appointment is at Dartmouth-Hitchcock. It's designed that way to give more time for people to know what's going on and for the doctor to know what's going on. It's designed for every patient to have 2 practitioners, a nurse practitioner and a doctor. So if for some reason your doctor isn't available in an emergency, the nurse practitioner should be. So it gives us more coverage. It's designed to be integrated. So if you have a TMJ problem, you think you do, it may be a dental problem, maybe a medical problem, it'll be all in the same practice. So you can, and you can pick what you want. If you want the doctor fine, if you want the dentist fine, you don't have to have a combo package, but they're there. The costs. If you were to look at the feasibility, I didn't print out, it's a 68-page feasibility study. It's got a lot of numbers. But if you look at that, the average cost during the first 3 years, assuming not everybody uses everything, is about $700 per year per patient. The average cost if we had a patient coming in and buying all their drugs from the clinic, and all their dental practice from the clinic, and all their primary care practice from the clinic, the average cost is going to be about $1,500 a year. That's for unlimited health care, unlimited dental care, and drugs. That is very low. The policy that I currently buy for our employees, that runs around $3,500 to $4,000 for the same coverage. So it's certainly less than half of the cost that I currently pay for health insurance. And of that, we take all insurances, we take uninsured, we take capitated. Capitated means, as an example, we have one woman who signed up for a health exchange policy through Obamacare. Her deductibles are very high, and as a result of that, she's interested in getting the coverage for us for primary care. So she's paying something like, I don't know, $5,000 or $6,000 a year for her high deductible policy that really pays for hospitals and specialists, and that's it. And she's using us for the balance, and that would be about $1,300 a year. So we believe that that's not a bad deal. I pay more than that for a single person plan for my employees. So that is one advantage. And we have other sheets on all that, and they're available online. I don't have them with me tonight. But it's quality healthcare. It's also less expensive. And it's also up to the people in the communities to set. So this is run by the community. I give you an example. I was here originally 2 years ago to talk about this, but I don't have a vote on the board. I just happen to be a member of the board, a non-voting member of the board, to offer suggestions, advise, get angry, things like that. But everybody else, everybody on the board, so the community, and at least 51% of the board members have to be patients. Have to. If they're not, if we don't hit that, somebody's got to go. Because it has to be 51% of the board composed of patients. And that's it. And what I'm hoping I can cajole you all into doing is offering support for our application. And I'll be happy to answer your questions on here. I don't have to run. Or if you want to ask about fire costs, I can answer those too.
So you said you'll take any insurance?
I already have 65 plans I gotta take.
Really? So they're in the net, this Muskoma Health Center will be in the network for those 65?
Yeah, and if we're not, we'll just take whatever they're gonna give us. I've got weird plans from all over the country. When we ask people to pledge, we ask them for their plans to find out where they are. And we have 2,500 people who have already signed up, and a little over. And of the 2,500 people that have signed up, I've got 65 plans for those 2,500 people.
Can we assume that those 65 plans include the plans that are available on the New Hampshire Health.gov?
Interestingly enough, no, because most of the pledges came in before Southern Maine was in play. I mean, the plans you got Southern Maine, you've got Minuteman, you got Anthem Blue Cross, and Harvard Pilgrim. I think those are the four.
Right.
So we have Harvard Pilgrim, we have Anthem Blue Cross, we have Minuteman, we haven't got Southern Maine yet, but we will. And those people have heard the spiel before, know that our plan is to negotiate with 5 companies to create a healthcare plan for the whole community, and not only us, but all the other community health centers, that will be just like, if you take out a Harvard Pilgrim card for instance, it'll look like a Harvard Pilgrim card, but all primary care is basically self-insured, and the rest of it is under regular insurance. So that should cut the cost about 35%. Any other questions that people might have?
You have 2,500 people already. What do you estimate you need to be successful?
Well, that's a good question. So the pro forma is based on 1,600. I gotta have at least 1,600 people. If I don't have that, we do have trouble. Having said that, we believe that we're guaranteed 2,000. That comes from employers that are like Town of Canaan's telling its employees, you have to use this health center. So we have employers doing it. And we're also probably gonna bring in a doctor with a practice in the area. When that happens, it pretty much guarantees us 2,000 patients. At 1,600 patients, I can survive for 5 years on the money we have planned. I can't go much longer than that, because 1,600 is really too low. Anything above 2,000 is break even. And at 2,500, I can go forever and clear roughly $100,000 a year that could be reinvested. So we would like to get it eventually up to 6,600 patients. And that would be about 2/3 of the overall population of 5 towns.
In your game plan at this point, are we looking at an 8 to 4 operation type of thing, or
No.
something beyond that?
The first year will be 40 hours, and some of those will be on the weekend, some of those will be in the evening. So we may start a late day, so we may go from like 10 until 8 or something like that. We have made a commitment to be open some evenings and sometime on the weekend. So that will be part of the opening year. At about the 3rd year, if this place goes the same way others have gone that have started up in New Hampshire, by the 3rd year, we'll be open 6 days a week and be open a total of, I think, 50 hours a week. There will also be, because it's a federally qualified health center, There'll also be on-call for emergency services 24 hours a day. Any other questions or I can answer or try to answer?
When do you plan to open the door?
Well, assuming we get the mortgage, we would break ground in September. Well, we would mobilize the equipment in September, break ground, we'll say the 1st of October, that's a reasonable period. And it's supposed to be complete no later than the 1st of May next year. And there's two hurdles. One is we actually have to get the mortgage from USDA. And the other hurdle is I've got to raise enough operating capital before we break ground. So as I said, we've got $250,000 now. We've got requests out for another $250,000. I need at least $600,000 to feel comfortable. I would prefer to have $700,000. If we had $700,000 when we opened, we would never drop less than $200,000 in the bank based on our current projections. So that gives it a range. I got it somewhere between $500,000 and $700,000, and I don't want to be operating on 10 cents. So we really need to have some more.
Mike, just to clarify, it's primary care, you're not gonna have any specialties there, okay?
Well, we'll have specialties within primary care. So we'll have pediatrics, OBGYN, not first. The ramp up is we start with family practice and, remember what you said, and pediatric practice.
But no orthopedics or rheumatology? Or
No,
anything
but
like that?
we have built in, if you look at the blueprint, you'll see there's a physical therapy department. So we actually are gonna have, because not occupational therapy, but physical therapy, because a lot of injuries that occur, especially in elderly people, require physical therapy. Even sports medicine, we'd like to tie it into the schools, assuming that they're interested and offer the service. We designed it to have a physical therapy group specifically because of the school population. And, you know, we'll service the kids regardless, but it was designed to be supportive. And the build-out plan says when we get to 6,000 patients, they want to have a sports medicine person there in addition to a physical therapist. But that's sort of specialized. And over time, there's also a request that we put in hearing specialists and vision specialists and somebody else. There's like 3 subsets. Yeah.
Like, if we haven't pledged this yet, I assume we can go online and pledge?
Yes, you can. MassCommonCommunityHealthcare.org. And there is a place to fill out a pledge form, do it electronically.
Thanks very much.
As far as the employees, is it going to be self-insured for the employees of the center, or will they be purchasing health insurance that's covered under?
It depends when we complete the negotiations. And as I said, we're talking to 5 companies. The question is, where's the greatest impact? And they all share off to just one company. And I can get into that if you want to know why, but on day one, for instance, the employees of the health center, my employees in the town, will show their card. So we will buy a traditional commercial policy for the employees of the health center. And that is included in their benefits. The town policy in Canaan is the same as the policy there. We're assuming that we're going to fully fund health insurance at the clinic, but we also assume that realistically only 85% of people are going to actually use it. So we plan on offering. We anticipate that it could take a year after we open before we get the insurance product in place. What I've been told by the brokers is, well, if you have 100,000 lives, which we don't, you can name the terms you want, which is nice. The disadvantage is we're not going to have more than 2,500. The advantage is that the other 11 health centers or community health centers that are under FQHC have 110,000 lives. And the 3 that I have talked with, all 3 of them want to join in the policy. So that's roughly 40,000 to start with. So if we get that group in, then it may make sense just to go with one insurance company. The preference is to go with a nonprofit or a quasi-nonprofit. So that means Harvard Pilgrim, Tufts, Southern Maine, Minuteman, and MVP. MVP left New Hampshire, but they've already agreed to come back and write the policy, so they were the easiest one to get. I don't know if that answers the question. Other questions? If you have any questions, just take a look online, we are online. And if you see anybody you know on the list of directors, feel free to talk to them. They are putting in unbelievable time on this project. There's one that's not in there, Tim Jennings is a facilities manager, prior to the Mountain School, was public works director at Enfield, he just came on the board from Enfield. And he's only been with us, I think, for about 4 weeks, and so far he's putting in about 20 hours a week on working with the architect. And as a result, we wrapped up the schematic diagram in 4 weeks flat, which is pretty impressive.
Yes, it is.
You said you have at least a doctor or two that's going to integrate patients into this program.
Yeah.
Do you have a possibility of several other doctors within that same area to do the same?
Getting, I'm not sure I know where the question's headed, but I'll answer both ways. Getting doctors is not a problem. We've already had overtures from doctors in the area looking to switch from where they are to come into the plant.
I meant perhaps them keeping their own practice if they wish.
We are not gonna do that.
What's that?
There won't be a split well, there would be, if we haven't been able to do this. We offered to partner or collaborate with Hitchcock and Alice Peck Day. And the theory was that they would work for us 2 days a week, they'll work for Alice Peck Day, Hitchcock for 3. Alice Peck Day's response was, we don't know what we're doing yet. And it's quite real, I mean,
Yeah,
it's a marriage that they haven't quite worked out the prenup yet, so I'm not sure that anybody really knows what's going on. And Michael Payne is on our board, he was chairman of the board of Alice Peck Day, and he doesn't have a clue either. So, on the Hitchcock side, the practices are going to be significantly different, and that creates a problem, and I don't really want to go into it more than that. It's just that our practice and the approach that's being used is a medical home practice. It is not the same type of practice as you would find in Peter Road. So the concern is, well, how do you tell a doctor to practice this way here and that way there?
Well, in the first part of your answer, that's what you addressed my question in the first part of the answer. But ultimately, is that a large number of patients that you work from those doctors? Or a very large number?
Well, we believe we're picking up an extra 1,000.
Per doctor that enters.
There are 2 of us, I don't vote, okay, but I'm active in the project. And the guy that's a project manager is a guy by the name of Scott Barrett, who lives on Canaan Street in Canaan. Scott is a highly professional guy. I mean, his talent is immense, has a good balance of skills, and has been historically, over the last few years, a troubleshooter for Hitchcock. And for a number of reasons, he decided that there was a time to leave Hitchcock about 1.5 years ago, and offered to work for the health center. And the response is, I waited 3 months to ask him why he did it, because I didn't want to hear the answer. And he says, well, I'm tired of talking about change, I want to see change, this is change, I want to do it. So he's worked for us for 1.5 years without pay, and he is a really conservative guy, which is fine, because I'm not. So between the 2 of us, it's a pretty good partnership. And right from, 1.5 years ago, we talked about collaboration with other practices. It is important that we have somebody, it's important, well, we already said, we talked with, I don't know if you know Bill Boyle or not. Bill was head of pediatrics for Dartmouth for a long time and operated a pediatric clinic in Canaan. And we met with him probably 3 or 4 months ago, and we were talking about the qualities we're looking for in a doctor when we hire a doctor. It's really critical whoever comes as a doctor has to be able to talk to everybody of every background in the 5 towns. They've got to feel comfortable with everybody, no matter whether they're a free stater or they're, entirely opposite persuasion, doesn't make any difference. They've got to be able to talk to everybody. They've got to take the time to listen and communicate. And it would be really nifty if they knew the people. So, an ideal candidate for us for a doctor is somebody who's already servicing people from these communities, who has a good bedside manner, or has a good manner working with patients. And that's really one of the things we're going to be looking for. It's almost as important as professional skills in terms of clinical practice and diagnosis and that type of thing. And there was some discussion with an institution about what gives you the idea that you're going to be able to hire doctors. And the answer we gave at that meeting was, well, we've already got applications from 3 of your doctors looking to come to us. So it's about the quality of the practice. It's just night and day difference for both the patient and for the practitioner. If you really care about your patients, this is the type of practice you want to do, provided that you pay. And that is an incentive for people to come. If you want to get into that type of practice now, at least in this area, you have to go out and set up a private practice, which is a trifle expensive. So the advantage of this is the community is saying, okay, we'll take that risk. We want you to make a commitment. And most places that I've had, the only place I really had long-term experience with was in Plainfield. And as I've said before, half the doctors there were there when I created it 40 years ago. So they've lasted a very long time. Of course, they're also getting older than hell. But they've lasted a long time. Any other, and I'm sorry for taking up too much time. Any other questions? Okay. Thank you.
We have the letter ready. Do you want to take it with you tonight?
If you have it, I'd love to.
We have it. We just
Try and
have
get
to
back
sign it.
up, but, okay. Did you have any questions about the fire bill? That was a popular topic. It's more than it was last year, in case you hadn't noticed. And the reason is we had to get Scott air packs. They all have to be done at one time, so we got 35 Scott air packs with a cost of $100,000. And we have capital expenditures on everything except the air packs, because it's not mobile equipment. So fortunately, the cost isn't that great for you, but there is a small increase in cost this year. It won't be after this year. We'll go back to it.
There was some discussion as to whether we were responsible for any capital improvements or capital expenditures.
Yeah, but it's not, well, you're not actually on the fire trucks. So all the fire trucks, any of the major equipment, we have a separate capital reserve account that does not come out of the fire budget. But the equipment is not in the capital reserves, it's in the operating budget. And it's under the line items for that department. And it's the same thing is true for like police equipment and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that's why it is. Now what we do is we juggle other departments so that it doesn't impact our budget in that particular year. So we drop all the other equipment from all the other departments in order to afford these air packs. There is another one that's going to come up in about 15 years. That's the exhaust system for the fire station. And that's over $100,000 as well. But that isn't a capital reserve because it's part of the building. Okay, so I haven't thought about telling you about that either until after I started hearing rumblings from the countryside. So that's the answer.
What did you hear?
Orange.
From Orange.
While we're signing, I don't know if there's any other questions.
Thank you, Ben.
Thank you. It's been one of the more pleasurable things most of the time that we've done.
Got a static coming through there.
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't
getting
know.
it on this end too.
Oh, you're hearing it too?
Yeah, now it's gone, whenever, now it's clear.
Thank you.
What was it?
Whenever you talk, Maria disappears, it seems
There you
like.
go, it's like magic.
Yeah.
I'll read the letter real quick for you. So, Town of Dorchester has followed the progress of Mascoma Community Healthcare with great interest. The plan to build, staff, and operate a community-based health center for the 5 Mascoma Valley towns has certainly appealed to a great many people. The fact that the care will be comprehensive and include health, mental health, and dental care is excellent, as is the commitment to longer appointments. Obviously, the location is convenient and offers flexible hours. The cost savings are very appealing, especially for those individuals and employers with ever-increasing deductibles and co-pays. We are aware that 15% of the residents of Dorchester have already pledged to use the new health center. You have had great success so far, raising more than $200,000 in donations. You have made great progress with the completion of the purchase and sales agreement on the lot, a schematic design that allows the health center to grow, and a very favorable financial feasibility analysis. The donations in excess of $200,000 show strong support for the health center. We believe that the health center will not only be valuable for the 92 uninsured people of Dorchester and the 30 people at or below, should be 125%, it says 4.5, of the poverty level, but for all Dorchester residents and employers. Sincerely, Dorchester Board of Selectmen.
Wow.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Mike, yeah, that's great.
My pleasure. I've enjoyed it. Of course, it would be nice to go back to a real life soon.
Thanks so much.
Thank you so much.
So back to the treasurer's report. Treasurer's bi-weekly report. Where's
That's true.
We just went into the bathroom.
We selectmen get a monthly reconciliation of our books from our treasurer every month. So, this is something, I don't know what the purpose of this is. Is this supposed to go on into our meeting minutes or something? Is that the-
Yeah,
Is that?
Oh, the report, yes, I can give the report, I'll do the front page, the other pages are just for the selectmen's information.
Okay, because you email us the reconciliations every month, so we're.
Right, those are the main
So we're up to date,
reconciliations.
we're up to date on this is more for the public?
Right,
Okay. So this is going to be attached to our meeting minutes, is that
if
it?
that's what you agreed to do.
Did you miss that when
Yeah,
there
we
was the
definitely
big blow up in the
had
town
that.
meeting and she got up and announced that she was gonna be giving the numbers?
There's been several people who've been asking
So,
for the
Okay.
treasurer's report,
Okay,
so.
so then this is the public document that is for anybody who wants to see this. Can see it.
Right, I would just put it, at least the weekly report here. The others are just reports pulled from QuickBooks that just show activity on those particular accounts
Mhm.
for the basis for the condensed weekly, bi-weekly report,
Mhm.
which I can present. If you just want to put it in the minutes, it's up to you. Whatever, however you want it to be.
What do you think? You?
yeah, I'm good with it, yeah, and I think it's great we're attaching it to the minutes.
Okay, that's what we're gonna do, we're gonna attach it to the minutes?
That's what we had said in the past we do, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Do you want me to report it, or do you just want it in the minutes?
I have to say, when I watched people listen last week, it's very hard to, I was thinking it's very hard for people to listen to that and digest it, but, you know, if we make it well, maybe we should ask the audience whether they want what they hearable they think it is. But, I think it's probably better.
It's pretty basic. My daughter did it at 4-H and they could understand it, so. It's quite basic.
Okay, well, go ahead then.
So I am doing a bi-weekly report, and I do this report right at the end of the close of the day, on the days of the selectmen's meeting. So I have the balances on hand for each of our accounts. There's 7 accounts. I can just give a total. Balance on hand as of March 26th was $126,674.59. We have receipts from the operating account. Receipts go into the electronic funds, but the receipts into that account that pay for the tax liabilities, but it's not receipts into the town, it's just being transferred from one account to that account. And then the money market account has some interest. So the total receipts we had for this last 2-week period was $66,729.51. Our total debts, again, are the operating account and the money market account. The money market account feeding into the operating account to pay the manifests and other electronic funds account was $71,424. So the balance on hand as of today of all of our 7 accounts is $121,980.10. And that's it. So,
Okay, thanks, Sean.
you're welcome.
Okay, next thing we should talk about, I talked to Linda today about the financials. We don't get the invoices till late. What Linda's been doing is the pay period gets shut off on Sunday, right? But she'll take whatever invoices come in up until Wednesday, she'll pay them. So we're not getting a snapshot of a particular time of what our finances are because they're ending on different days. So I suggested to Linda that when the payroll period ends, paying the invoices ends also on the same day. So when she comes in on Monday morning, any invoice that she received on Thursday, Friday, or Saturday, she can pay that.
Right,
But every invoice that comes in after Monday goes to the next pay period.
right.
So we can get a more accurate account of where we stand. Okay, is that all right with you?
Yeah, that sounds great.
Okay, so I already just, so then she should be able to send us a listing of the invoices by Tuesday, or Monday even, Monday afternoon or Tuesday, so we have time to look over the invoices rather than getting them on Thursday afternoon.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay, so
Yeah,
that's,
that's great.
okay, so that's the way we're gonna do that from now on.
Sherman, just to add to that, we turn all our invoices in by that time. So
Huh?
just to add to that, we already turn our invoices in from highway, so she has them for a pay period. For that, so she has that answer for you guys.
Yeah, okay. You don't turn in all your invoices though, some of they come in the mail.
Right, exactly, but the ones we have,
Oh, okay.
yep.
It's going to help all around because I'm like on Thursday when checks are being cut, trying to figure out, I need to get money transferred to the accounts to pay the checks that I'm signing tonight.
Yeah.
You know, it's,
Yeah.
so having that extra day
Yeah.
will be a lot less stressful on my end.
And as we started up, we made a lot of mistakes too, you know, so then,
Yeah.
it was too late to fix the mistakes and,
Before the meeting, yeah.
yeah. I mean, things are, as they're going along now, they're gonna run smoother,
Mhm.
but it was a little rocky to begin with. We were voiding a lot of checks and. Okay, the Quins, we got a letter from the Quins, and Linda drafted a letter for us to send the Quins. You read the letter that we're sending to the Quins?
Yes,
Okay, you're okay with the letter?
I'm okay with that.
Okay, Steve,
Yeah,
Joe,
me too,
yeah, because you were concerned, I know you were both concerned about, doing what you can for the Quins. This isn't the first time that we've gone through this with the Quins. It's been an ongoing thing for a while. The Quins have a few issues with the town, actually. This is one of them, and there'll probably be another one coming up pretty soon. The Quins at one time went up to the registry of deeds and subdivided their property without informing the town. They didn't go to the planning board. And they were complaining for a long time about they were only getting one tax bill when they had subdivided. There were actually 2 lots there. But they had never gone through the planning board and followed the procedure for getting a subdivision.
Mr. Chairman,
So-
that started when I was a selectman.
That
And
started
they were
way back
told
then.
specifically that they could not subdivide without going through the process. And apparently they did, I believe the family's name is Yell, Y-E-L-L-E.
Uh-huh.
They subdivided for that cousin or niece or whatever it was, and this is what's come of it. They were told, they were informed well in advance that they could not do this without a full subdivision, and they proceeded with all due haste. In fact, they built driveways and everything else over there to access this non-existent lot.
Okay, so well now the problem is that they get the 2 tax bills because we have that class 6 road that runs through their property there, that divides their property. So what do you know about this Kimball Hill Road?
I think you'll find that most of the lot that they subdivided is on one side of the brook, and the road it leaves a little tiny piece, I'm gonna have to say north of the road that goes to their camp, that it would be substandard anyway. But the lot that they cut off for this Yell family is actually on the south side of the brook, and there's a driveway there that's been used as a turnaround for everyone since the bridge went out. And that is actually the lot that they were subdividing there. Because they had gone up and cut out a place for a camp and everything else over the years.
Okay, well I know that they have said before that there is no class 6 road that goes through their property. They said that's their driveway. But our tax maps show Kimball Hill Road, so.
And the road continues up to what they call the 3 corners. So the road exists. I don't know what they would care to call it. And there are too many parties that have passed in the meantime. Alvin Doherty is no longer in the picture. It was the Doherty and Quins that owned it when I moved to town. Alvin Doherty passed away after that. The Quins wound up with it, and then came this subdivision that took them years to.
So the town of Dorchester never discontinued that road?
It is a
You
class
know,
6 road,
it's a
subject to gates and bars, and
Okay.
has been.
Okay, how about where the road enters Groton? Did Groton ever discontinue?
I do not know that.
You don't know, huh?
I do not know that.
I don't think so, because they were talking about redoing that road at some point. The problem, yeah.
Could you speak up, Pat?
I don't think so, I said, because we were talking with a Groton person recently, and he said that they were thinking of, at some point, continuing to repair that road, and they call it a road, so it's not discontinued. to my knowledge.
Okay.
So they subdivided their property into 2 lots and now they want to go back to 1 lot.
Basically, yeah. That's freelance subdividing.
Then the first,
That breaks
Maybe
some
I
of my
should-
sympathy for them, I guess.
maybe I shouldn't talk about them, because they're not here to defend themselves, but. Oh, what the heck. First,
As a matter of history, they have been before every select board that has ever been here. They have gone to every change of planning boards to try to affect these things to those lots. And nothing ever changed, they just didn't want to do the paperwork and go through it. So I'm not surprised that all of a sudden you've got 2 deeds. I don't know how you do that without the planning board stamp in the town that has that process.
Part of that was real short, so.
So the first year that I was on the board, well, just before I got on, I guess the town was gonna cut some timber along Providence Road because they wanted to dry out the road. It stayed pretty wet all summer, so the town sent out a letter to all the property owners letting them know that that's what they were going to do, and they were gonna do it in October. At least that's what the letter said, but the town did it in August or September or something. They did it before they said that they were going to do it. So when they did it, then the Quinns responded and said that the town didn't give them enough time to respond, and the town took their timber, and it was a substantial amount, and we owed them quite a bit of money for the timber. So we sent the town forester down. As a matter of fact, you and I were down, John. And the town forester went down and did a study on the stumps that were left, and he figured that we owed them $385 for the timber that we took. And they wouldn't take the money. They said that we owed them like $5,000 for the timber there. So we've had some tough dealings with the Quinns.
Is the answer to this just to send them a letter that if they want to change the status of their property, they need to go before the planning board?
If they want to subdivide it, if they want to merge the two properties they have now, they have to get that road discontinued. So they could petition the town to discontinue the road, and if the town does, then they can merge the 2 properties.
But that has to be by a warrant article, right?
Right, that's a town vote, right, nothing the selectmen can do, the town has to do.
It's partially.
So,
Well, I'm
I
just.
think it said in the
I would
letter,
think that
didn't it?
would easily said.
I think it said in the letter that if they wanted to do it, that's what they
I
had
just
to do.
think doing things professionally would be better than kind of slamming people in the jaw when they're not here.
Okay, get to those later. You want to give a stipend to Gavin for videotaping the meetings?
Yep.
Yeah.
What were you thinking?
Gavin's over here.
Well, I know we had mentioned $20 a meeting. Gavin very hesitantly and humbly suggested $50 a month. I guess my thought is, I think it might be more fair to pay Gavin per meeting, or I should be addressing this to Sherman and Steve. But I think, $20, $25
Yeah,
Maybe there's 3 meetings, you know, a month, that we're asking to be videotaped. So I think the fairest thing for Gavin is to
Yeah.
do it.
okay. Per meeting, yeah, I think it should be per meeting too. Will you take $20, Gavin?
Yeah.
Okay, done. He'll take the $20.
Sold.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'll make a motion to pay
I'll
Gavin
second it.
$20 per meeting to videotape. Second? You second that?
Yeah.
Should we amend that retroactive to the March 26th board meeting?
Do you want to?
Yes.
I think so.
That was our verbal, what we verbally said to Gavin is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, all in favor?
All right.
Put the retroactive in there. Okay, and what's the scoop with the business directory on the webpage? What's that all about?
Are you asking me?
Yeah,
Well, you know, we had a request from a resident to list a business in Groton on our webpage. We don't have a business directory. I did look at area towns. Canaan has a business directory, but it's limited to the businesses in Canaan. Groton, Wentworth do not have, Rumney do not have business directories. You know, I think, I myself don't see it as appropriate at this point. There are no businesses in Dorchester. It's certainly, this particular business is a horse farm. I mean, pick your favorite business, you know, you can, Google something, Google horse farms in Grafton County, Google horse farms in Dorchester. I just think it's outside our purview myself, but, you know, I tend to be minimalist.
There are businesses in Dorchester, Maria.
Well, yes, there are. So, you know, if you guys think we need a business directory and list them, that's fine, but, as I said, I think there are other places you can find out that info. But, yeah, what do you think?
I don't know, I think a business director would make the Dorchester page just that much more useful and informative. I don't see any harm in it.
Well, then, yeah, I mean, I don't have a strong opinion on it. So we've got to pay Jan to do that. You know, in the past, it's been mentioned that only 25% of the people in Dorchester have computers. I don't know if that's still a valid statistic. So, you know.
Well, maybe if we put on a business directory, the other 75% will rush out and get computers.
That could be.
Especially if we have a computer business. Sure, do you have any thoughts on this?
I don't, tell you the truth. But I'll listen to anybody have any thoughts on that they would like to? Yeah, okay.
One of the problems that I could see would be exclusion rather than inclusion. How would you do it? Would you seek people? Would you call them up? Would you say, oh, Fred, I understand you have a jewelry business here in town. Would you like to, I don't know what Fred does, by the way, but would you like to be on the directory? I can see people
I'm
being,
sorry, Kat, could you speak
I
up?
can
I'm
see
sorry.
people being excluded because they wouldn't be asked because someone might not know they have a business. How would you put them on the list?
Couldn't it be the business's responsibility to come to the town and request that they be put on the directory?
I would think so, yeah.
That's the
They'd
way
have to
I would.
know, they'd have to know about it though. How would you let people know?
Well, you can have a business directory right on your website, and then
And
if
go
they
to the
want, you can
website,
have a
they
little
say
blurb on
business
there that says if you'd like to
directory,
be part of Dorchester's
yeah.
directory, please contact, however you want to have that set up to do that. And they could put their
We could
information.
certainly put out a message about a business directory on the listserv so that anybody who's on that would see that this was added to the website.
And if we were gonna do that, I guess would the businesses be responsible for, creating the blurb that's put up there, or is this just a listing of name and contact?
I would think it would be a listing of name, contact, and maybe a few very brief words about the nature of the business.
And those would be provided by the business to Jan or computer.
Right.
Well, you could still always have some kind of like a $10 fee or something if you'd like to be part of the town directory. It kind of covers the costs of whoever needs to put it together, however you wanted to do something, but I mean, you know, usually the way that kind of stuff goes, and that way if somebody even wanted their little logo or something.
Or a link to their website, if it costs anything for that, and each website's
I mean, that might be a big dreaming down the road. Right now, you might just want business, what it is, and a phone number or contact email, however you do it. But I mean, you know, it's something to consider in that way.
Link to any webpage.
The link to your webpage,
Yeah.
I don't think there's any cost for that if they list it, if they put it on there.
You're right.
I'm not following that, a link to a,
Well,
Your
like,
website.
let's
You have a
let's say Legs Logs, for example. Their listing would be hot link to, does Jay have a webpage?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so you just click on the name Legs Logs and it takes you to his webpage.
okay.
And you can design that so that it doesn't take the person necessarily off the Town of Dorchester webpage. It just opens up a new window.
Mhm.
You probably have to talk to the computer
Yeah,
designer, the web designer, to see
Who
how
hasn't figured out
that,
how to go in and get
how
out of
that
that.
works.
yeah.
That,
If it says extra cost.
he doesn't determine how you can go into a portion of our website now and then return and forward on. You've got to go out and come back in.
Yeah,
So
usually
it's going to be a challenge.
that
doing it.
website. You can just back page it back.
Well,
Question for the board. Should a business be included if it does not meet the,
Could you speak up, Mike? Thank you.
should a business be included if it does not meet the criteria for a town business, which means home businesses are allowed, but by special exception in most cases. The town could get itself into a precedent-type situation by listing businesses on their business directory that have no legal standing to be a business in town. And I would yield to Bob. I mean, if you're on the planning board, these things are actually allowed by special exception. Most any small business, home related, is allowed, but by special exception. And so if Joe Schmo's Roofing comes into town and puts out a shingle, it's okay, you can do it, but it's a business allowed by special exception. And it's one of the small gains of having a land use ordinance. It means that you may not have that business beside you without them going through the steps. And I'm just throwing that out before you open it up to a business directory on the town website and then have conundrums that come from that.
Well, and I guess it just seems to me a town of 350 people. I mean, Canaan has 5,000 people. They've got a business directory. And, you know, as I say, Groton does not, Romney does not, Wentworth does not. I guess I feel like there's enough to keep us busy, but if people have a strong sense for it, then we need to do it. But, you know, I'm screwing up, I hadn't thought it myself, so, you know, that we get into legal issues, yeah,
Okay, well, here's what the webmaster says. He says, the website does not have a local business list. The community link page contains links to community organizations, cultural, government, healthcare, hospitals, and schools. before I create a business category, I wanna make sure that town really wants to start advertising for businesses. So it kind of doesn't sound like he's really in favor of that.
And, or what about, how does this, just services, how does that fall into play versus a business? Like, I mean, somebody may
I mean, like if
do
somebody.
dog sitting, but
Yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
not,
Yeah,
it is their business, but, well, they're making money, and it's not a hobby, it should be a business. But it's still a service.
Plus, that's kind of one of the purposes of our bulletin boards too, where you can advertise for whatever service you have or something.
Plus the listserv, too, you can advertise on that.
True.
well, I don't have strong feelings about this one way or the
Yeah,
other.
either way.
Is, I mean, if we're gonna get tangled up into issues about land use.
Yeah.
Okay, let's table this. Okay,
Bob Green has gone for.
First, the request was made from a business that was actually not located in Dorchester, it was located in Groton.
all right.
It was a resident making a request on behalf of a business in Groton. A resident suggesting that we put this Groton business.
In a Dorchester website. I'm looking at the Lime's websites, and you're right, there are a couple different towns that do have business lists. Lime has just a listing of about 20 businesses that are in Lime, they just have a link. They are all Lime businesses, I know most of them. But for us to list businesses that are not in Lime, I wouldn't be in favor of that.
Yeah, no,
As
I
far as
agree.
doing the legwork to find out if they've gone through the land use regulations, you know, thanks but no thanks. Not gonna do the work for that. And I'm not sure if that's gonna end up being an issue. If it is an issue and somebody lists their business and we find out they're trying to do a major business out of their house and not supposed to, I guess we can cross that bridge when we get to it, but I appreciate Mike bringing that up.
It would be
The
worth,
thing is, there, to my knowledge, there are no Dorchester businesses that have asked to be put on the website. And maybe if they came to us and asked, we could find a way, we could swap them in somewhere. As Cheryl mentioned, services versus businesses. But thus far, no Dorchester business that, since I've been select person, has come asking us to be on the website. So I don't know, that must say something.
About 3 years ago, or 4 years ago, we had the New Hampshire Economic Development work with the town of Dorchester as far as businesses. And there was a group from Plymouth State that came and interviewed different businesses. And they actually wrote a report that they submitted to the town. They actually had some challenges going to businesses in Dorchester because some of the businesses said, you know, we do it by word of mouth, we're not interested, which was kind of interesting. But there weren't many businesses, but if they're not calling us and asking, you know, Legs Lodge makes a big sense. They have a great website.
yeah.
And listing them, if they list Dorchester businesses that are true businesses and put a link on the website, that shouldn't hurt if it's a business and it's in Dorchester.
Right.
And follow what some of the other towns are doing.
I was gonna
Like
say,
Lyme.
we could easily check with Lyme and see what kind of criteria they use to get a listing on their, as a business on their site. So,
That's true.
yeah. How do they distinguish
What
between
they say is
business
the
and
town of Lyme
services?
does not endorse any of these businesses,
Right.
includes them here at their request or as a service to their Lyme customers.
Okay,
So they have a nice disclaimer,
right,
because you're right, we don't want to be in the position of recommending,
exactly.
you know. A Chamber of Commerce would list different businesses also, so the town's not necessarily a Chamber of Commerce.
Right.
But listing a Dorchester business, if they requested, I don't see an issue, and it shouldn't be a big programming problem. You know, trying to come up with a description and going out to solicit everybody, putting something on the website that if you're a Dorchester business and you'd like to be listed, send you information in an email with a link to your website to hear it.
Right.
I think we need to think about this some more.
Okay.
Do you want to investigate?
Yeah, I'll check with Lon, yeah, I'm gonna
Line and see what,
check with
see what
Lon,
line
yeah.
does. Okay. That okay with you, Maria?
Yeah, that's great.
What'd you say?
I said that's great.
Okay.
Thanks, Bob, I appreciate the stuff about Lon.
I forgot all about contacting Randy Latrell about the building permit.
Oh, yeah.
Did you forget about it too?
No, I didn't, I was gonna ask you about it tonight.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'll call him tomorrow.
Okay, just let me know what he says.
Into my head there. Okay. We have some appointments to make. Deputy tax collector, you didn't do it? Oh, that's because I wasn't on that. Okay. So, well, that has to be done, or that was a mistake on there, but it has been done.
It has to be.
Right.
Okay, so we don't have to do it now.
Right.
Okay. Okay, we haven't appointed a human services director?
Yeah.
Okay, I make a motion that we appoint Linda Dowling, the administrative assistant, to be the human services director. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, any discussion on that?
Yep.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Bye.
Assistant Emergency Management Director, didn't we appoint Ernie to that position?
Yes.
Well, he's the deputy, and Cookie, do you have any further info on what assistant emergency management director means?
Alright, so we do not need to appoint anyone. If we have any volunteers, they would step in if either one of us, it would be like a chain of command.
Okay, I don't know where this came from, it's just,
It was a listing that was in the old emergency operation plan. So
okay,
that
we're
was-
saying assistant instead of deputy, that's all,
Something
right?
like that.
Okay. Representative to Lakes Region Fire Mutual Aid.
Yeah, we have no one in the 911 reps. We've got no one.
I don't have anybody for that. Who was that? Was that Artie?
Yes.
It was
It was Artie?
Diane. Artie was the rep, and Diane alternate, and Artie was the rep for the Lakes region. And I didn't bother calling him because I assumed he had enough for a while.
Okay, so we don't have anybody for that then,
No.
at this time. Okay.
I need to be reappointed to the Conservation Commission. I'm up.
You're up, huh? You want to be appointed?
I do.
Okay, I'll make a motion then to appoint Maria to the Conservation Commission.
I'll second it.
Any discussion on that? Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
There was the Historic District Commission. There's 2 people that you need for the Historic Commission, is that true? Who got off this year?
Me.
You and who else? It says 2, you need 2 here.
Yeah, the other one. Oh, John Thursday, though.
I think we need alternates.
That's all.
John Morrissey is up.
Yeah.
But he was the representative from,
The planning board last night appointed Mike Woodward as the
Okay, so then
planning
that
board's
one, so
rep
there's-
on the historic commission.
so there's one, and Regina Ronaldo has moved, so, and she served as an alternate.
Okay, so there's no,
What are the meetings, Tony?
The new commission will decide that. We were meeting at the first Tuesday of the month, but it depends if there's a need too. We were doing it every other month last year.
okay. We don't have anybody that has come to the select board to show any interest in serving. And you haven't found anybody that has shown any interest in serving also?
No.
Okay. You can continue to serve on the board as long as the select board doesn't appoint somebody for that position.
But I think I've done 2 terms. I thought there was something about you can only do 2 consecutive terms, which I have done, so.
But if we don't, if you have the right to stay on the board if the selectmen do not appoint somebody to take your place. So, well, that's your decision to make, you don't have to make that decision right now.
Well, I don't wanna stir any pots. I don't mind being an alternate, cause I care about this town. I have a huge interest in all of it, so, I'll still attend.
All right, well, think about it and let us know. Okay? And in the meantime, we'll continue to look for somebody to take that spot. And if we find somebody, you're out.
Point.
We're sure you're the only one, because it says 2 here.
But Regina's gone
But she was an
and
alternate. It says you need 2 members.
Well, you said John's not.
He's not a member, he's
Oh,
a
you're
rep.
counting John Morrison.
yeah, but
Oh, okay, okay, you only need 1 now. Okay.
Oh, no. He's not a member, he's a rep.
Okay, let's do the officers of the select board for 2015. I'll take nominations.
I nominate Chairman Howard to remain as chairman, since I'll leave it at that. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Any other nominations?
There's only 3 here.
Going
if
once?
there is, you're off.
Okay, well, since there's only 1 nomination, then, all in favor?
All right.
Aye. Okay, we need a vice chairman, so I'll take nominations for that.
Well, I nominate Maria for that.
Okay, Maria's in nomination for vice chair. Any other nominations? Okay, there's only 1 nomination then, so all in favor of Maria to be the vice chair?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Okay, we need to appoint a permit officer. Maria, you were the permit officer last year.
That's right.
I think it would be a good idea if Steve would be the permit officer so that he would learn what's involved there.
Sure.
So I'll nominate Steve to be the permit officer. Any other nominations for permit officer?
I have one question. What if I need a building permit?
One of us will do.
Okay.
Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Is there a second for that?
I'll second it.
Okay, we need an ex officio to the planning board. I served on the planning board last year. I think that would be a good, you were on the historic commission last year, Maria. I think it would be a good idea for you to go to the planning board this year. So I'll nominate, I'll nominate you.
That's great,
You okay with that?
I
Okay, will you second that?
I'll second.
Okay, then, all in favor?
Aye.
am.
Okay, Maria's going to the planning board. Historic District Commission, that's a good place for you to start, Steve.
Yeah, I'll be happy to do that.
Okay, so I'll nominate Steve for the Historic District Commission.
I'm old and dusty.
Any other nominations for that? Okay, then all in favor? Aye. And the Board of Adjustment, I would like to go there myself this year.
Okay,
So,
I nominate Sherm to the
Thank you.
Board of Adjustment.
thank you. Any other nominations for that? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, good, we're all set then, for the new year. We need to appoint a road agent. Now, it appears that you have an option here. You can reappoint Dean to be the road agent, or you can start the process of advertising and looking for a road agent.
I'll nominate Dean Stockwell as road agent.
I'll second that.
Okay, any discussion on that? Open to the public? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. There was a question from whether there was discussion. There was a question about whether there was discussion open to the public. Okay.
I was gonna read the team, the letter that we got from the road agent from Orford tonight, I don't have it with me. So, but I will, I'll read it another time.
Okay. I got a copy with me.
Okay, bring it up. Friday, February 17th, Charlie Waterbury was given a tour of the majority of roads in Dorchester and asked to evaluate the roads as far as winter maintenance. As to Charlie's expertise, he spent the last 17 years as road agent of Orford, maintaining 42 miles of roads with 3 full-time employees and far more than double the road budget that Dorchester has without counting capital equipment costs. Below are the categories that he talked about. The width of plowed roads. Snow was pushed back so that roads appeared to be a similar width as it would be during the summer. Roads were wide enough so that water could run off into the ditch, but not too wide so that the ditch would freeze. Important for spring thaw and reducing mud season effect. Snow was further pushed back with a shelf effect that was not too high, yet not too low. The shelf effect is used to accommodate a large amount of snowfall that would come later in the year, but does not widen the road farther than it should be. The shelving also appeared to be mindful of structures close to the road. The shelving was particularly impressive considering it was done with a truck wing versus a grader with a wing. Road width was excellent for access for emergency services, particularly in cases of fire trucks needing to shuttle water and pass other vehicles. Sand, plenty of sand on dirt road and pavement, was mostly bare without excess sand being wasted. This was particularly noticed in that the sand-salt mix is assumed used instead of salt only on pavement. Culverts, cutouts made appropriately for water to run off into culverts on hills. Intersections, snowbanks were pushed back appropriately at intersections to allow for safe line of sight. This was particularly noticed where town roads met State Route 118. Turnarounds large enough for snowplow and emergency vehicles, yet not too wide. Bridges, snow removed to the guardrail so passing is a similar width as preceding road, similar to summer travel. People's property, appeared mindful of people's property. Shelving was done above fences and what may have been stone walls. A few barns were noticed that were very close to the road, and the snow was not plowed into the structure, but it appeared the wing on the plow was adjusted to protect the private property. Charlie did note how difficult it is to know what is under all that snow, and after 17 years as road agent, he was still learning where things were in Orford. In summary, Charlie Waterbury stated, quote, "I don't see where he could improve much. Overall, I would give a grade of a strong A, particularly since it was one of the snowiest Februaries in many years." Charlie did recommend having a written snow removal policy that was approved by the town, and he will share what he used for Orford with Dean. Charlie did offer to talk further with the select board and to meet with Dean to share best practice ideas. Now we understand that that was a snapshot of one day that he looked at. But Charlie repeatedly praised the condition of Dorchester winter roads. Road agent's position is a tough one. You certainly cannot please all the people all the time, especially on a limited budget. It appears that Dorchester's road agent, Dean Stockwell, wants to do a good job and takes pride in what he does. He has his heart in the job. So overall, what sticks out to the select board is that Charlie would give you a strong A for what you do. And the selectmen have read this, and this certainly goes into the decision to keep Dean as the road agent. Okay, let's talk about the sale of the old truck, Dean.
Yep.
And we got had 2 letters from John, from John Franz, who's here tonight, and we'll address those, John. The first one was about selling the truck.
That was the
I
second,
won't read it.
second
I
installment.
The only thing that I wanted to say to you about that, John, was, the first year that I got on the board of selectmen, that was your last year, one of the first things that I did when I got on the board was draft a policy for the disposal of town-owned property. I presented it to the board in June of that year, 2010, and you and Artie made amendments to that policy
Policy
for the disposal of town-owned
yeah,
property.
right, we did.
You made amendments,
Right,
and
right,
then that
exactly.
passed.
If it exceeds $500.
That's what got amended.
Anything below 500.
I think I had $200 on there, and you and Artie amended that, each one of you. So, but I was just curious about your email, that you reminded us
So
about the
I
policy.
just put it in there just to, reminding ourselves, we all make reminders once in a while, we still have it. It's easy to have a policy and then forget, oh gee, we have a policy.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been there, I think we all have to agree.
I don't usually forget
No,
policies.
I wasn't
and
being,
write
I wasn't being condescending or insulting. I know we have a policy, and I know you probably know we have a policy.
Okay,
And I have no problem with that.
okay.
Just the
And
fact
and that's our intention to
As
follow.
long as we
to follow that
follow the
policy.
policy. that's all.
Okay, and it's the road agent's opinion, we're taking his opinion, to sell that truck for $490.
490?
Yes.
What year is that truck thing?
2005.
2005? Kelly Blue Book's a heck of a lot more than $450.
Yeah, he took the truck down so that the guy that's opened the new Route 118 auto down there, and he put it up in the lift and looked underneath it, and his opinion was that this truck's not gonna go through inspection. It's all rusted out, all underneath. So, yeah, we don't wanna
I
sell
just
a
feel
truck
like-
to somebody that's not gonna be able to get it registered.
Put it up for bid and let people bid on it. It's under 500, so.
Thank you.
Maria can't hear you.
Okay, sorry, Morel.
That's okay, thank you.
Are we living at the $500 limit? And now you're gonna, so you guys can dispose of it however you so desire?
Right, rather than going
Right.
through and advertising and going through that whole rigmarole. And then, I don't wanna sell a truck to somebody that's not gonna be able to get registered.
Okay, well, okay. Live by the policy, but I think that truck's probably worth more than $450. I just went to Kelly Blue Book, and they're looking around for fair to low fare. You're looking around $5,000. I think there's some questions here. I think the truck, personally, I think the truck should go to bid to see who wants to, what they would put out for public money. If it can't go, then. How many miles dispose of it?
139,000. I've got, when we went truck shopping, nobody would take the truck for free.
For free?
That's how bad it was. They wouldn't even take it on their lot.
I don't have them with me, but he took pictures.
Of the underneath of that truck,
While it was on, and it's all,
it's all.
it's shot.
Oh, I believe it.
Did they put somebody at the top garage tell you that it would cost $2,000 to get that through inspection?
Correct.
So it sounds like, it sounds like the truck is dusty.
Can I enlighten? The truck, the guy that wants the truck is a local resident. He's had a hardship life. He's very mechanically handy. And he just wants to use it around town. And he said that, I know he's handy, and I figured that would be a good fit for the truck to go with. It's not going to make money, it's going to something he can work on at his leisure, and hopefully put it back on the road. Truck's gonna be sold.
I thought we said this truck was unfixable for a reasonable price, and that's why we had to replace
That
it.
is correct.
So he's gonna use it around town? I don't get that. If the truck was not repairable and we replaced it,
why are we gonna sell it to somebody to be fixed and run around town? That really confuses me.
Because he's fixing it himself, no charge to us. It's up to him to do what he wants with the vehicle once we sell it to him. We're selling the truck to him as is, as shown, and need a repair.
We don't care what the truck is worth to him.
Right,
You know,
Right,
we're only
exactly.
concerned about what the truck is worth to us. And what he does with the truck isn't really any of our business.
correct.
So, but we're not in the business of doing favors for people.
Correct. Correct. But nobody else wanted the truck, and if you guys think we should put that truck up for bid, so be it.
I think it's worth putting it out, Dean.
I think it's the fair thing to do. Yeah, absolutely.
And I think, you know, 2005 commands something. That was 98, I begin to wonder, you know. I know the a typical problem with that, those Rangers, is much like the Explorer, they have problems with the spring shackles, right?
I need to replace it already, and I need to replace again.
Do it with a full disclosure that they need to look at the rust.
Yes.
No, don't try to pull wool over somebody's
That's
eyes.
correct.
But do it with a full disclosure.
Everybody that knows the trucks that come from municipalities are shot, rusted shot. That's what happens. Because they drive in them 24/7, they live in them.
And added a penny saver, put it out by the town office, and see if it goes. And if it doesn't go, then seek your other route.
And then what if he backs out?
Hmm?
And then what if that person backs out?
I can understand it. Dick.
What if that person backs out?
Backs out, well, if he backs out, he backs out, you know.
And the town loses out on
The
that
truck,
money?
the truck, the truck
That
may be there for
opportunity?
a while.
What?
Is there a cost to the truck, where is that happening specifically?
Say that again?
Is there a cost for us to get up for bid,
There's something
I
that's
think
put out
that's
to
if
bid.
it's liability, if it's put out to bid, the town sells it to someone, is there liability then for the town's pound and carves out if it goes bad on them?
I don't think if the disclosure is full, yeah.
Take it as is.
As is, that's right.
If anybody's looking for a used vehicle without any miles on it, they know where the vehicle's been, they're going to check it out. And if they think they can
Yeah.
do something with it, they will buy it. If not, they won't.
So is there a minimum bid you're gonna put in that bid package? How are you gonna do that? Are you gonna go by the Shelley Blue Book that Mr. Franz is, you know, I mean,
$1,000.
No, we'll put it out for bid.
Doesn't it have to be what your policy, isn't it 500 what the policy is?
You could put it out for bid and, the fellow that wants to bid on it, he could bid $490 on it, you know, and so he'll get it.
That's a good idea. Why don't we put it out to sale bid? We'll advertise it in 2 papers, the penny saver and the classified paper. And we'll give it till the next select board meeting and open up the bids then.
That sounds like a good idea.
Yeah.
That sound like a good idea to you, Maria?
It does.
Yeah, okay.
Let's do that, and then everybody, bid everybody.
Everybody's happy.
Yep.
Okay,
Okay.
okay, that's what we'll do. We'll put the Ranger out to bid then, as soon as possible.
Okay.
Can you make the description, Dean?
yes.
Write the description.
Yep, I will. I'll take care of the ad and everything. Yep.
In as few words
As possible. What word is it?
But good disclosure.
Yes.
Yeah,
You have all the maintenance records.
yeah. Full brief disclosure.
Yeah. Anything else?
Yes,
Yep.
yes, right here, because, we got a highway report from you. I don't think I read it either, so let me read it while you're here, okay? More signs are missing, huh?
Yeah, Providence Road sign and the stop sign. They left the post and took the 2 signs.
Any,
Where do you?
Providence Road, the sign for Providence Road and the stop sign. They took them off the post and left the post there.
The post is gone. It's
I
broken
picked it
off.
up,
It's broken off.
I picked it up. It's in the back of the truck.
any,
That piece sticking out in the ground, Dean? Not that much sticking out of
Yeah.
there? Okay. Somebody fell on that, ouch.
Yeah, well, once the snow goes and we can pull it up, we're gonna pull that out, put a new one in, so we can drive down a new one. This is a lie, by the way. Where is it, where we replaced the tires for the grader? Yeah. We didn't quite save $1,000. We had to buy a tire hammer and a tire bob. So that brought it down to about 800. But we still saved $660 times 2. Plus the time to go get them, so, yeah, we saved about $1,000.
so is the theft of the signs been reported to the authority?
No, not yet. I did them, picked them up, I think it was Wednesday morning. And I don't know if it's worth reporting it because of the value of the replacement. I think there's a,
And this isn't the first incident of
Oh,
signs
no.
getting
Oh,
stolen?
no.
And are they the same type of signs that get ripped off?
oh, yes.
So they're,
All aluminum signs, because it's worth some money for
I
scrap.
see, okay.
Yeah, aluminum goes up, so the signs go away. We're not the only town that deal with
Yeah,
it,
right.
really.
Right.
The stop sign, is that our responsibility to replace or the state's?
No, it's because it's on our road. I did notice too about, when I was over there at Providence Road, somebody really messed around with the mailboxes on Paul Smith's Road by the cemetery. Really, I don't know what happened there, but all the mailboxes, you guys agree? Got messed with?
We noticed one of the town trucks plowing there one day.
We plowed there and took out, but,
Yeah,
I mean, we never, but this is recently, I couldn't.
yeah, we don't have.
In
a-
fact, I picked up one of the older mailboxes, it was a green metal one, down by the brook on Providence Road, and it was full intact. And I think it said 98 Providence Road.
Why would you plow the mailboxes on 118?
Where I don't,
Well, that's what I noticed, the town truck was
no,
was
I
plowing there one
opened
day,
up that area to get in there, Bolton Road.
plowing out the mailboxes.
No, I don't recall. I would probably wing it back to clean up from where I left it, so, because I can't leave snow on the state road.
I know DOT is coming out.
It was a town truck that day.
Okay.
You're having a pretty good year so far though, with the snow melting slowly.
Yes.
I'm pretty good.
Yes, there's a couple roads that are getting to the point that we're gonna probably have to put some stone in them, just to cut them up a little bit in spots. But, yeah,
Okay, nothing exciting here.
no.
Okay, so the other item that I had up there for, I sent, this is John's other email that he sent in about the credit cards. You guys, you read the email, huh?
Yeah.
You read it too?
Yes,
All right, okay, good. We have a Home Depot credit card, we have a Visa card, we have a Tractor Supply card, and we have accounts at Rand's Hardware and Canaan Hardware. The Home Depot card we got 2 years ago when we started building the facility down there. Came in handy.
Yeah.
You know. We probably don't really need that card now. The Tractor Supply card, we got that because they run specials every once in a while, hydraulic fluid and stuff that he uses. So if there's a special there, he's got to jump on it fast, doesn't have time to wait around and stuff, so we got the card for him there. The Visa card, that's administrative assistant keeps that, that's for mostly mailings. She has to send out certified letters and stuff.
Right,
She
right.
has access to some money to do that. The accounts that we have at the hardware stores, we've had those for a long time. That's for, buying cleaning supplies for the office mainly
Right.
and stuff like that.
And Mr. Chairman,
Uh,
if I could comment when you have a moment.
Well, I'm not, you wanna wait till I'm done, or do you have something pertinent?
Okay, you can, no,
Okay, you can wait.
I'd just like to explain it regarding this particular letter, if I could have a few things to say about it.
Oh, okay, well, go ahead.
Okay,
And John,
first of all,
can you speak up? I'm sorry.
I want to compliment the board for making the manifest available now every 2 weeks at the minutes. I think it's a very good move here in town. There's a tremendous amount of transparency doing this, and I'm glad you're doing this again. It was done for a while, and something happens. And, but anyway, when I look at these things, I want to make sure how things are being handled. And I ask about the cards, because I don't think anybody should have just one, the person should have control of it, should be the office. And it should be in the administrative assistant. Dean has to get the card, I need the card, he can call you, say, I gotta get X amount of stuff at Home Depot for the building or whatever. Now, the building brings up a point, Dean. In the past few years, we put about $83,000 in that building. 47,000 last year, almost 36 this year. How do you block out your budget? How much of your budget do you plan to put into the building this year?
Minimum.
Minimum, but what's the minimum? Do you have a dollar figure?
He's not putting anything into the.
No.
No, you don't have a dollar figure, okay. Because I'm just figuring, because that's the way you can try to block out your budget, and because predominantly you want to use about 98% of that on roads as much as possible. Okay. And, but the cards, the other towns, let's check with other towns to see how this is done. Mike Sampson, who's not here now, I said, how do they do it in Canaan? He said, they have a card in Canaan, and he said, they come to me and get it. And he said I give a pre-approval for that. And I also checked with the town of Groton. They do the same thing. You have to go to the office, and you would get it from Linda. And you would say, Linda, I have to get this amount of stuff to take care of the wood chip. The metal blew off the roof, and I have to get it a sheet or something. Generally, it's not the small thing. It's something that maybe exceeds $500. When you start getting up to that level, then you probably want some pre-approvals. Who's ever handling the money, it goes through the chair, so.
How did we used to do it with Tiny?
I couldn't hear you, Sean.
How did we used to do it with Tiny? I remember he used to submit a form, if it was under
Remember, we
100.
used to do things pretty much by purchase orders.
Mhm.
And then Brian would go get a purchase order, and then he would list out what he needed on the purchase order, and we'd give it to the vendor, and then he'd go pick it up.
Mhm.
That usually worked quite well.
Yeah.
But there are times when you'd have contingencies, and where you have to get something quickly, and you don't want to wait the whole purchase order process.
Mhm.
And that's where a card comes in handy. And then you have to go to the office and get it, or I'll head down to Depot, or I'll head over to Wise Guys or whatever, so.
Mhm.
It just keeps all our governments work on checks and balances, and it's just that we're doing it. So it's everybody protecting everybody else, so.
Okay.
It's not being critical, it's just trying to be watchful so nobody gets a hot water.
Well, I agree with you, Jim.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with, I think the administrative assistant should be holding the credit cards.
And she just gets
If
it.
Dean needs to use a credit card, you can get it from Linda. She checks with the board first. And even if Linda isn't there, you can get a hold of one of the selectmen, and we have keys to the office. We can go down and get the credit card if you need it. So the credit card should go there. Okay. And go ahead.
It used to work, it happened with me many times, because I work as a private builder when I do a lot of high-end renovation work. And I was on jobs where the former road agent would come up and find me there, and dig me up and say, hey, I gotta get X amount of stuff, can I get this? And I said, yeah, go to Brian, get a PO. That was that quick, you know? It's an understanding we all have, so at least we know, or could be knowledgeable of it. So if somebody started blowing a gasket about something he bought, you could say, yeah, but I approved it because we felt we needed it, and we justified it at the board. So, in other words, not picking just on him, but it comes back to all of us saying, yeah, we're part of this.
Go ahead, Marie.
Well, and, I agree with the idea of, preventing a problem. But Dean raised the question, and it seems valid to me. For example, with Saddle and Bond, he just goes in there. It's what is it called, an open vendor account. So, I'm wondering, that's a level of trust. I'm not sure why, and I'm pretty comfortable with that level of trust. So I guess I'm not seeing exactly how the credit card use is different. And,
Yeah, good point.
with Tractor Supply, if we're going to either pull the credit card or put it in Linda's keeping, that is going to, at times, make it inconvenient. If Dean's running into Saddle for something, he can't just run into Tractor Supply and pick up whatever. So should Tractor Supply go to an open vendor account? And again, just not clear on, how to draw the line between the trust for an open account versus credit card use.
Okay, good point. So here, what you're touching on is that this problem goes deeper than just the credit cards.
Right.
Okay, and our process here is flawed, and we need to fix it. And just, I took the numbers today that I got on our finances and your budget. We're for the days in the year, 27% of the year is gone, and 25% of our budget is gone. So we're 2% under budget for the year. But the highway department, 27% of the year is gone, and 29% of the highway budget is gone. So you're running over budget for the year. Part of the problem is here that you don't have the authority to spend money. I sent you an email with the RSA, right, that gives you the limited authority to spend money. You have the authority to spend money for road material and bridge material, planking materials to maintain and or build a bridge or maintain or build a road. That's it. You don't have the authority to spend money on any equipment, tools, fuel, trucks, anything. All that authority is vested to the Board of Selectmen. What we have a situation now where you go 2 weeks and you spend money, and then we come and we approve these invoices that you've already spent the money and you've picked up the product and you've used it, and we can't do anything about it. We're just kind of just signing off on this stuff, and we can't at this point say, no, Dean, you can't spend that money on this particular thing because you've already spent the money, you've already picked up the product, and you've already used it. So, we need to figure out a way, that you're more accountable. And, I think we should revert back to the, go back to square one, and you have to get, approval from one of the selectmen before you spend any money at all. Now, I say this because, I stood up at the town meeting this year, and I tried to get across my anxiety for this year. There's a lot of unknowns, and I would like the town to kind of hunker down this year and spend as little money as possible. We're going to need money at the end of the year because our tax rate is going up. And our tax rate is going up because our overall appropriations are gonna go up this year. Now, we found from practice that if we retain 15 to 17% of our total appropriations in our fund balance, then we have enough money to run the town for a half a year. I mean, we're into 2015 right now, and we haven't collected any tax revenue yet this year, right? So what are we using to pay our bills? We're using our fund balance money to pay our bills, right? So we have to have a fund balance that equals to 15 to 17%, right, of our total appropriations so that we can make it through the year. Not to mention having money there in case there's an emergency, you know, but just so we don't have to borrow money. So at the end of this year, our total appropriations are gonna go up because the school tax is going up. So that 15 to 17% is gonna go up also, right? So we have to have money left over at the end of the year that we can roll into the fund balance to bring it up to the 15 to 17% of the new total appropriations, whatever that amount might be. Okay? So, add to this now the fact that the town was very generous, so the select board put a warrant article on to take $5,000 out of fund balance, right? Because we knew we needed the new truck. So we were gonna try to squeeze that out of the budget and we would have $5,000. The town was very generous by amending that warrant article to $15,000 so that we could stay within our budget. But that $15,000, that's not free money.
I know that.
That's not free, we have to make up that money,
I know.
okay? And the person who should make up that money is you, because you're the one that's benefiting from that, right? So you should be coming in this year, $13,000 that we're taking out of the fund balance, that's 6% of your budget. So you should be running 6% under budget to pay the town back the $13,000 that they gave you to get the new truck. It isn't fair for you to run over budget, right, and then have somebody like Darlene, who's running the town clerk's budget and the tax collector's budget. It's not her responsibility
To make my difference.
to make up your difference.
Correct.
Exactly, that's not fair. It should be coming from you, okay? I think the way that we can get you to get back under budget is by instituting a new policy where you need our permission before you spend any money. Now, I know it's going to be a pain in the neck, it's not going to be convenient, but that's how government works. We have to sacrifice convenience a lot, you know, so that things are done properly. So, if my colleagues will agree with me, I would like to institute that policy tonight, that and we'll try this out and see how it works, okay? And see if we can really put some...
Let me stop.
Okay.
We dropped the piston off with a grader. We
Can
rebuilt.
whoever speaking speak up?
I want to add to what Sherman was saying about the spending of the money. I didn't get permission to take the piston out of the grader and get it rebuilt. I just took it out and sent it out to get rebuilt, because we can't use the grader without that piston. So now I've got the piston down there, dropped off. They called yesterday afternoon late and said it was ready. Now, that piston is ready to be picked up. Now the plow on truck 4 is a 4-way plow that doesn't any more angle because the pistons are no good. They need to get rebuilt. I've already taken them off today after working 14 hours in a truck plowing with that same truck that don't work correctly. Take the pistons off to drop them down to get the truck so we can use the truck the way it should gotta be. But am I supposed to ask if that's okay? You see what I'm saying?
I disagree, I see what you're saying.
Because-
And why can't you ask us if that's okay?
Because they're down there. It's already in process.
Okay, all right, they're already down there.
Right,
yes.
they're in process.
I'm thinking that before
You-
before you took them down.
Right, you see what I'm saying?
Yes, I see. what you're
Just stuff
saying.
like that. I don't foresee that, you know. Like them tires I put in the
Yeah.
report, $660 per tire, grader tire, not counting the tubes, not counting the balance. Now, we found 3 grader tires from the grader in the past that was there. We had to buy a tire hammer and a tire bar. We broke them down in the shop, mounted them on the wheels that fit our grader, and saved that kind of money. Now, for $140 tire hammer and a $40 tire bar, we gotta get permission. So do we leave the grader down because this, you know, I understand what you're saying, but we gotta have a checks and balance here for some reason. Because, I mean, are we gonna be calling every time we turn around for something little? Like the steamer, Tractor Supply, perfect example. The steamer's not working correctly because it wasn't getting the right amount of water. So I went up and bought a supply demand pump for $90 and installed that. Now the steamer works correctly. Now take that card, put it away, fine. But now when we gotta go see McCovic and something happens, we don't have that card to use a Tractor Supply because they don't have open accounts because they're too big to have open in-house accounts, just like Home Depot.
You still have the card.
I understand,
Okay. You still
but
have
you
the card.
can't use it, but I'm gonna give it to you today.
Right,
That's what you said.
right.
So now, say that we had to go with this team and it didn't work. Now I gotta go find somebody to get a card so I can go get that.
Yeah.
So we gotta have a check and balance, because for every, if you want to put a minimal expense on spending,
Okay, listen. I hear what you're, hold on, I hear what you're saying. Now, here's the other side of the coin.
Yeah.
Right? Pretty soon, Darlene went out, but Darlene's the tax collector, right? Pretty soon she's gonna be sending out tax bills, right? So, pretty soon she's going to come to us, she's gonna turn in a requisition form. And she's gonna say that she wants to purchase a few hundred stamps, okay? And we're gonna sign off on that and we're gonna say, okay, give it back to her, we'll sign off and she can go out and do that, right?
Right.
So she follows the procedure. How many requisition sheets have you submitted to the select board this year?
not as much as I've spent, put it that way, by far.
Dean, I don't remember any.
I've got to file a text into that. What I'm getting at, if you want requisitions forms for big ticket items, like we're buying, say, 10 cases of oil, that we know we're gonna get that, I'm talking like, when you get there, you never know what's gonna happen. You know, I mean, when I get into the grader, the piston's pouring fluid out of it, it needed to be fixed. Yet I could have asked your permission on that, But on stuff that you don't foresee, okay, you cut with a chainsaw, the bar gets pinched, now it's jammed up, now you don't have a chainsaw. Now I can come back and get a card from you to go to Tractor Supply while we got a tree leaning either on the road or against wires or against another tree.
Yeah,
I have a thought, could I jump in?
sure.
I agree with, Sherman, I agree with you 100%. I also understand where Dean's coming from, in that something breaks, instead of running somewhere to get a part to fix it, he may spend an hour or more trying to roust one of us up. I also see a little chaos possible if any one of us, if any one of the three of us can say yes or no to a particular request. I'm wondering if we could fix the need to keep the highway budget under control and yet provide Dean with a certain freedom when things break. Would it be better if we did the math and said, Dean, you have X number of dollars to spend in April? And then that has to include repair. And then, you know, chance to Thursday he asks Steve, and then Sunday he asks me, and do any of the, you know, the three of us have to keep track of who's being asked for how much. I wonder if it makes our lives and Dean's life simpler to come up with an X amount of dollars per month.
So a discretionary repair part of the budget.
Well, somehow we keep the broad control, but Dean doesn't lose hours of work time trying to find us, which I can see over time just costs the town money and is a pain in the neck. This isn't like Darlene or Linda or because they know it's a specific defined cost at a specific time. Definitely, I agree, Sherman, absolutely, with everything you said about getting highway under budget. But I'm looking for a way that provides Dean with a little wiggle room so that he's not spending 2 hours a day running around trying to find one of us. And again, the problem of us three communicating with each other and knowing who has yes or nayed a particular suggestion. That's it, that's my thought.
What is on the average, could we figure out on the average, we'll say, on either weekly expenditure that, we'll say highway spend? Is it, not counting payroll, I'm saying just, like you're talking now, is it $1,000 a week, is it $500 a week? And if whatever the number is, we set half that number up, and anything over half, then we gotta get, and any big ticket items, we gotta get permission.
So you're talking about what's spent on average on repairs?
Right, correct.
Fixes and stuff like that?
Or like a Tractor Supply and
Right,
stuff
right.
like that, and, yeah.
Well, maybe we figure the 6% we're trying to get from the budget and divide that by the months left in the year.
I agree, we gotta get highway to a budget where we can all work with. I agree with Sherman, we do, I understand. What we gotta do is we gotta put in a place like if, on future expenditures, like the ties that I've got ordered for truck 4, I've ordered ties for that, at the same time I got the ties for truck 1. I've already got the permission for that, okay? But the truck has never gone down for the tires. But I've still already got the truck permission in the past for that, though, when we talked about that, you know? But I mean, in the future, say if we bought tires or we needed, we'll say, oil, you know, diesel fuel, and say, hey, listen, we're gonna be spending, is it okay to spend X on oil? Or any stuff that we can plan. I'm talking unplanned stuff that comes in.
John, do we know these other towns that you talked to?
Yep.
Canaan and...
Can you speak up, Steve?
Yeah. I'm talking to John, so I'm asking, do we know if they have any kind of discretionary part of their budget that allows their road agent to have quick access?
Can I answer one, add to that?
Yeah.
Their mechanics budget, the last time I knew, their mechanics budget was $250,000.
Now, town of Rumney, they said before, anything that's gonna cost over $500, there has to be a pre-authorization from one of the town selectmen.
Oh, I agree with that.
Okay, so, but under $500, the
Under
road
fi-
agent...
Under 500, yeah, the road agent can go out and make his purchase.
Oh, I agree with that.
Right, and, you know, now, one thing that comes back to, you said you got oil or hydraulic oil or whatever. I saw in your road report,
Yeah.
this year, the end of the year, you're gonna do some bulk buying and have a stock of stuff on hand.
Yeah, we already have.
And if you have it, that saves, running all these trips, extra
That's
trips,
right.
which you may not
Yeah,
have to
that's what
do.
we're
'Cause
talking
that
about.
truck out there probably gets 9 miles a gallon, right?
That truck actually gets 14 to 16 versus the range I got now.
Okay. This gets 14 to 15
Yes, it does.
with that big V8 in it?
No, it's got a 5.4 truck.
Anyway, but Romney, anything that exceeds $500, they want a pre-authorization.
Okay.
And if you have to get a link for in the suspension, it's not bad. You gotta get it.
Yeah.
It's gonna sit there and plunk around. It's awful.
Well, I mean, I would just hate to have, when a chainsaw goes and it needs a repair, it's like right now. And I would hate to have that get tangled up in a whole long process when it's a simple, not expensive thing. So that's why I was
They're
interested.
little things, yeah, I
Yeah,
can
yeah.
understand that.
That's, yeah.
And it's just that you can decide there's just a limit where he has to go in and do it. And then
Right.
it's just a matter of there's such a thing as a phone. And we can always get hold of somebody somewhere around town. And Sherman's usually around, you are, Steve, or someone is there. I think it can easily be reached, somebody said. And if not, you jump in your
You
car
gotta
and
come up
go
with
there.
something, I agree with you, absolutely. But, like the tires for the truck, we've already agreed on it, when Artie was here, selecting, I forget what the date on it, but truck is scheduled to go down, I've been putting it off because I figured once we get all the hardware off truck 4 and get it to where it needs to be, then we'll send it down for our tires. Truck 1 got its tires already, truck 4 still needs them, we've already planned to get them. That there's gonna be roughly $150 per tire, that's 300, 600, that's gonna be probably about $700 bill.
Okay, listen, I'm not trying to fix the world tonight, okay?
We gotta do something, we all agree, Maria.
I'm not trying to fix everything tonight, but let's start. Let's start that Dean asks us for everything. And let's do it for 2 weeks, and let's see how big of a pain in the ass it's gonna be.
For everything, so if he needs a quart of oil, he's gotta ask us.
We could start that. You wanna put a dollar figure on it and start?
You guys don't like the idea of naming a number.
Well, that's what I'm saying, put a,
Yeah, I do like the idea of naming a number, because
I mean, I was thinking, so we're trying to get 6% under budget. We find out what that number is, divide it by the 9 months left in the year.
no.
You wanna say, anything, any purchase over $250.
Any purchase over, how about we go with any purchase over $50?
For a 2-week trial period?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I could go with that.
Do you hear that?
What's that, Dave?
We're gonna go with a 2-week trial period. Anything over $50, one of you guys gotta approve.
Do you think, that sounds like a good place to start. Do you think you can live with that?
I mean, long,
You live for 2 weeks with it.
we're talking the minimal things. We're talking auto parts,
No.
tractor supply and stuff like that. We're not talking tires and stuff like that.
So, and this is just for 2 weeks, so
Yeah,
we'll see how it goes.
yeah,
And you can call us up.
yeah. No, I just email you all the time.
Or email
Okay.
the selectmen, and that way it's documented too. The selectmen call you, but we gotta keep this documented too. So if you give him permission to buy something for $300 or something, document it.
Right, and
Okay, so we know that he's.
See, because, that's a good idea, because see, what's gonna happen is, them tires that I've already ordered, got 3 permission, it's not even been recorded.
yeah.
So now that's gonna come up against what we're talking about now, right? It's gonna come up against that budget of that 9% that we're owed, correct?
Well, we did approve those tires.
Yeah, I understand, but see that, and that's one, if we're gonna have to keep of what's going on. And what I'll do is, I'll keep them filed earmarked as expense, so that way there, it can be tracked.
And well, I guess my question for the 3 of us is, I mean, we have to have a number in mind. What is our criteria for saying yes or no?
$50.
No, that's for each request.
Does he need
I'm
it?
asking Sherman and Steve, what is our criteria for saying no, yes or no?
Does he need it?
How bad do I need it?
How bad does he need it?
Well, I mean, he may really need $5,000 worth of stuff, that's relative. It still seems to me we have to have a hard number to come up against.
How about if he needs $190 for sweatshirts?
No,
Well, you bought $190 worth of sweatshirts there this week.
I understand that, but I am absolutely 100% committed to getting this under control, but I see the 3 of us operating in a vacuum unless we have a maximum number. As I say, on Monday, you approved something, on Thursday, Steve approved something, on Monday, I approved something.
So you're saying that collectively, the 3 of us can't approve more than $1,000 a week or something like that?
Was X amount of dollars, the 3 of us need a total
Well, if you do it by email, you gotta run.
Everybody's gotta run a tab.
If you do it by email, then everybody's gotta run a total.
right, but, maybe I'm being maybe I'm being thick-headed. I'm just saying, we need a total to go up against. You approved $50, Steve approved $75. Dean wants another $100 from me, but I've got to say to him, no, you can only have another $75 because our final total is $200. 75 plus 75 plus 50. I mean, we have to have a point of reference for saying yes or no. Am I just being thick-headed?
No.
We need a number to say yes or no against. That's all. Maybe I'm being,
Direct my questions.
Maybe what she's wanting to know is like beyond one of you guys, like say you can authorize another 100, but beyond another 100, now you have to pull in another selectman to say, oh wait, he wants to spend $700, I can't approve that by myself, I gotta have somebody else come in on that. Is that what you're asking, Maria?
I'm saying that to get the highway budget under 6%, let's just throw out a number. We need Dean to not spend more than, $200 in a 2-week period. I mean, we have to know that it's $200 in a 2-week period, or $300 in a 2-week period, or $150 in a 2-week period.
But
That's what I'm saying.
Maria, what do you do though? I mean, expenditures don't work evenly like that. Dean goes to work and the grader's pistons on the floor and spilling oil. And that's gonna cost $600 to fix, and he can't run the grader without it. This is just a, for example.
And the first week in November, the payment for the truck is gonna be due, he's gonna spend $23,000.
Right, but that's a given. I mean, that's a contractual thing.
That's right.
Well, right, but that's out of Dean's hands, that's us. You know, okay, maybe I'm being too simplistic, but, so I'll leave it at that. I'm just trying to make it, you know, I was just trying to keep it, what I thought was simple and, manageable, and organized. But, so, go ahead, Sherman, you read it out there for us. Or Steve.
Well, I think we came up with a 2-week, a proposal for a 2-week plan. That any expenditure over $50, you gotta get one of the selectmen's approval on.
Well, I have permission to put the ads in the paper, that's over $50.
Okay, yeah, done, okay. And we're gonna try this for 2 weeks.
We've already got commitments.
So you're gonna see them come.
Yeah, and you don't have to ask my commission for commitments that you've already made there.
Yeah.
Okay, but we're starting fresh.
Yeah.
And we're gonna work on your budget, and we're gonna start $50, right? You can spend up to $50. Anything over that, you need a selectmen's, okay, to spend, okay? And we'll try it out for 2 weeks, okay? And we'll see how we do after 2 weeks. And if it isn't too much of a pain in the ass, maybe we can go 2 more weeks at it, you know? And, or maybe we might have to adjust it a little bit. We might have to go up to $100. Okay, but let's try to get a handle on the highway budget, because we really need to do it. Okay?
We all agree?
You okay with that? We're gonna start at $50.
$50, we hear 60.
I see Cheryl's hand up there.
I just have one more request on some of the, for instance, the Home Depot receipts. Some of their descriptions are pretty vague. If Dean could just account on those invoices or receipts exactly where's the 1x10s going? Where's, just, they're listed, a bunch of items. Where's the area rep going, these other pads, things like that, the mats, just to put where they're going. So you, as a selectman, would know, oh, you bought 2 mats for XY building, and you go in there, you can see that they're there. You know that's what they were purchased for.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
just
And
overall
and
sense
knowing-
of knowing and accountability
and knowing the financial condition of the town right now,
right,
and knowing that I'm responsible for that.
yes,
I'm the one that can say no.
no,
I'm more likely to say,
Right.
you could live without that,
right, yes.
than he is. He's got so much money that he can spend, and so he'll spend it, whatever he's got, I want to try to hold him under budget as far as I can go. And he could buy, I'm not saying he can't have the mat
Right, but
next year.
just in his,
He can have the mat next year maybe. This year, let's save some money this year, because we're gonna need it. and we'll get it next year. Okay?
About if we buy another truck. Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Okay.
I tell you that, I'm fine. I believe in this committee, whatever it takes.
Okay, good.
I trust this committee, I do.
But we trust you too.
Hey, but I haven't had any bliss lately, where's the bliss?
Hey,
You gotta get home for bliss.
I gotta get home, yeah.
Wait for the snow to melt.
When I get there.
Oh, no more. And we're plowing mud, no more.
Let me ask you something. We had a non-public meeting concerning Dean. You remember a few weeks back? Did we unseal?
No, I believe it was
No,
They're
no.
still sealed?
They're sealed.
Okay, all right. I won't say anything. Okay, thanks.
You done?
We're done.
Okay.
I have a question for the road agent.
Yep.
Saturday afternoon at 2:38, the new town pickup truck was headed out. Can you tell me where it was headed?
Saturday afternoon.
Yes.
I believe one Saturday I went down to the office. I had to get some, trying to think what that was for, Saturday afternoon. I don't much pay attention to the time.
Well, I'm to propose that the use of public vehicles is part of the job. And in order to get this budget under control, the Board of Selectmen, as well as the Highway Department, needs to maintain a log of vehicle use. What days it's used, what it was used for, where it went, who was in it, and incident logs should anything happen along the way. It's the only way you can know if vehicles are being used appropriately and not frivolously.
Hey, Michael.
I will finish in a moment, and then you can do whatever you like. But it was Saturday afternoon, there was nothing going on of any, the sun was out, and I thought the road department worked during the week unless there were storm issues. And I was surprised to see the pickup truck headed out at 2:38 on a Saturday afternoon. Take your time off, you had a nice long winter. The truck will last a long time if it sits somewhere. We had all kinds of constraints on the last road agent over his use of the town vehicles, and I'd like to see a log of town vehicles maintained, so that any one of the selectmen, or even someone of the public, would like to see the logs and see how those vehicles are being used, where they go, and particularly if they leave town. Why did that vehicle leave town? Where did it go, and for what? I'm just saying, I really am uncomfortable with the use of vehicles, especially if it's gonna be 7 days a week. We never had to have 7 days a week in the summer before, and I think we used to tell the other road agent he had to be parked by 4 o'clock. And in his own vehicle, the vehicle will last a lot longer.
Certainly something that we can consider. Yeah.
Well, I think a log is as a business practice, keeping a log is a very good, so who came in, who he talked to, something you can see. Because otherwise, tonight, when I entered, you were talking about the manifest. What was this? Well, I don't remember. Okay, so if you're gonna make purchases, make a list. Start at 0. If he's got commitments made, make a list of those commitments. You got $1,700 for tires over here, so you know where this has been expended, and now we can go from there. And if there has to be some sort of a quick purchase fund, prepaid Visa debit card, so that there's something available in a hurry. Gift cards, whatever. I know some businesses that keep gift cards in case somebody has to go get something, but there's got to be a way other than having open-ended accounts everywhere.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, certainly something we can consider, and certainly there's more things, so.
And Dee, aren't you planning logs for each truck?
Correct. They're already in progress. Yeah. But I did that on my own time, just so you know.
Okay, I don't have.
Cookie.
Can I just
Yeah,
clarify?
okay, sure.
That 2:30 in the afternoon, we got a call from Joanne Rossi on LeBron Road about the culvert issue.
Could you speak up, Cookie?
Sorry, Joanne Rossi from LeBron Road called our home and requested that the road agent go and check the culvert that was plugged up at her house, and that's where he was
That
going.
might have been,
That was the call.
Oh, that
Yes,
is
so
where
it was
he
business.
going? Oh,
But,
okay, thank you for
you're welcome.
that. Okay, I don't have anything more. Do you have anything?
No.
How about you, Maria? You got
No,
anything?
I'm good.
I don't have anything more.
No.
Okay. Okay, well, I'll open the meeting then to the public for any announcements they want to make, or opinions, or statements, or anything. John?
Dean, are you familiar with that bad dip there at Hearst House Road? Soon as you get to the end of Hearst House, it's a whoa, it's like a
Yeah.
looking, I mean, really, it can
Yes.
throw you, so. I just, as long as you're aware of it, okay?
Yes.
The bad dip there, it could really, it could throw you, I couldn't see you driving enough too. And a heavy sprung SUV, you know it.
Yeah. It's not the one we did.
No. I do have another comment. 20 minutes after 4 this morning, road agent went by. There was 4 inches of snow, and the truck is fully loaded and had wing on the side of it. And that wing was in places 4 feet off of the pavement. There is a reason why we post all the roads in the mud season. It's to take the stress off the road. You can leave that 1,300-pound wing at the garage. No one else, I go through 9 towns. The state keeps their wings on the pavement. The towns keep their stuff on the pavement. He's rolled up the front of my lawn again because he wants 3 feet off the pavement. And I thought we were done with this. Last week I was gonna start raking, I'm kinda glad I didn't. But there's no reason to be winging the river road. It's gonna be 70 degrees tomorrow. 60 degrees. Call me a liar for 10 degrees. But there's no reason to be hauling a wing and winging off the pavement by 4 feet in the spring. It's mud season. Stay on the pavement and you may save some money in your budget to fix something else. We have 2,700 feet of frontage on that road. And 4 feet off, rolling the mud into the ditches don't work. It's an improper practice. And the road agent doesn't want to hear it. I don't know who wrote that blissful narrative there, but that person probably doesn't have 2,700 feet of frontage on a town-maintained road. I'm really unhappy about the fact that we can't stay in the road. We just keep rolling the junk off.
Okay. Anybody else? You want to say something?
It wasn't 4 o'clock this morning. It was 3 o'clock.
It was 20 minutes after 4.
Anybody else got anything? No? Okay, I'll make a motion that we adjourn. You second it?
Yes.
Okay, all in favor? Aye.